This is a portal connecting our reality with alternate space-time continua.
Correct.
You know, I'm a 45-year-old space nerd.
Them things look hot.
There is a space age quality to them. They're all we can afford.
We think right here is the way to go.
You know, free. Welcome to the Galactic Coast Power Hour with John Ennis and Mighty Mike Taylor, the Galactic Guys.
Each and every one of us is a crew member here on Spaceship Earth.
On Vinyl Draft Radio.
That is right. This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're coming to you live from the ACU of Texas studio on the top floor of the historic Gemini building, just down the street from the home of U.S. manned spaceflight. My name is John Ennis, and I will be honest, my voice is giving me a big middle finger tonight, but that's a camel fighter, and the show must go on. Luckily, I'm joined by my brother in brew, Mighty Mike Taylor.
Yo, yo.
And our sister in brew, Sylvia, Galveston, Houston Girls Pints Out. Benvenidas.
Hello, hello.
But enough about us. Tonight in studio, we have an American alcohol pioneer. Matter of fact, when we started the show roughly 1,600 episodes ago, 16 episodes ago, we had a short list of guests we had to have on the show, and we are blessed to have one of those tonight. Her name is Kelly Railean. She's the master distiller and founder of the Railean Distillery and Buccaneer Bar in San Leon, Texas. Hey, Kelly, thanks so much for coming on.
Glad to have you, Kelly.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No, really appreciate it because I know, especially on a Thursday, I know you had to move some things around even to make this happen. So we're really, really pleased you're in studio with us tonight.
No, my pleasure.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about I guess we can start about what we're drinking right now. I know we've been enjoying
a little bit of everything around right now. You have the Tiger Shark, John. That's what you're drinking right now. Because it is, right? It's Tiger Week.
Shark Week.
Shark Week.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Shark Week.
Same thing. Water tiger.
Shark, yes. Don't want to see one of those.
Right.
Water tiger.
So
Tigers actually
what's in
swim
the Tiger Shark?
Okay, that's going to be our vodka and our light corn whiskey. It's got grapefruit, a little bit of cranberry, and a splash of lime. So Excellent. It's pretty refreshing. I thought about, it's been so stinking hot. So I'm thinking refreshing, a little acidity. To cut through things because it's hot out. So refreshing drinks are best.
This actually tastes like real fruit juice, right? This is real fruit juice.
It is actually real fruit juice. It's something crazy we do. Yes,
so these are healthy, right?
You're getting a little vitamin C in that one.
Yeah. A little vitamin C. There's some pulp. There's some.
But you got something else though, Mike.
Yeah,
right?
you have a different cocktail. You have our signature drink at the bar, and that's going to be the Talk Like a Pirate Rum Punch. Because after a couple of them, you will. Yes, exactly. You'll be talking like a pirate.
It's kicking in.
Yeah,
it's kicking in. The R's are kicking in.
That's actually our most popular drink. That's what most people ask for at our place, and what we're known for is that's a cocktail that my husband and I came up with. Probably 20 years ago when we were sailing, and we just started making these batches of that actual rum punch there. And it was not with our rum yet because our rum was not around yet. But we would use spiced rum and white rum. That's made with our Railean white rum and our spiced rum. It's got pineapple juice, orange juice, ginger ale, splash of grenadine. Splash is something secret one secret ingredient.
Excellent.
So,
excellent.
Yeah.
That's smooth.
And the fact that you're most popular, that's kind of saying a lot because you literally have a craft cocktail bar there at the distillery, the Buccaneer Bar, where you have how many drinks?
There's about 200 cocktails. So 200. And then a handful that we rotate in and out, and specialty drinks when we have events or parties.
Very limited menu, huh?
Yeah. Actually, sometimes it's a real pain because it'll take them a while. They want to go through the whole thing. And meanwhile, we're like, hey, we need to make we got to make your drink or you're moving on. And I'm taking whoever's behind you because then you're going to order a drink with 8-9 ingredients on it. It's going to take me a while to make it. So if you don't know what you want, step to the side and we'll get you when you're ready.
So I know you're a rummery, but I see vodka, rum. I see something that really looks like tequila.
Well,
what is that?
I can't call it or label it as tequila since I do not make it in the tequila region. We actually ferment and distill that right here in San Leon. So that is our blue agave, 100% blue agave spirits. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like tequila, but we can't label it. Think champagne versus sparkling wine, bourbon, Kobe beef. We could go on and on. Chianti. There's lots of products. Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. If you don't make it in that region, then you can't put that label on it or call it that. It's just not right for me to call it tequila.
So how do you make that? How do you make the?
Well, just basically kind of like how we make everything else. We're going to buy a raw material. So for the blue agave, it's blue agave. It's 100% blue agave.
Where's
certified.
where's that come from?
That comes from Mexico. So the blue agave.
Where in Mexico?
Well, there's a lot of areas in and around Mexico, in and around Jalisco and the highlands and lowlands. It grows in quite a few different places throughout Mexico. It actually grows in agave grows in. We have it here in Texas.
You're using what they're using.
Yes,
to
we
make
are. We
tequila.
are. Yeah, I purchase it just like the tequila companies purchase their agave from a facility,
from a
farmer that's going to go ahead and cook it down into a syrup or nectar, and then we buy that. So a lot of people think you buy the plants, and hey, I take the plants and shove them in a still, but there's a couple steps before that. So
yeah, no, I believe
it's got to be converted to a sugar. And
they cut them before they take them out of the ground because it's easier to cut them while they're
because they're really heavy.
Yeah.
Even when they cut them, they're going to be
30
35 to 85 pounds or so. They're very big and heavy. Yeah.
7 to 10-year-old plants. So yeah,
yes,
pretty cool.
Yes, so definitely.
And I've kind of learned from experience that I guess with tequila or that's some type of drink that the quality of the agave is kind of key, and yours kind of stands up with the finest tequilas. I know my wife Betsy, if she drinks cheap tequila, she breaks out. And yours is actually one of the ones where she can drink and it's no problems at all. I mean, I know it's been compared to some of the finest tequilas that are found in Mexico.
Well, raw material is key because, y'all, most tequila that we have here, if you look at the bottle, it says tequila and nothing else on it. If it only says tequila and it doesn't say 100% agave or 100% blue agave, you don't know what else is in it. By law, it has to be 51% blue agave. So unfortunately, here in the States, the way tequila was marketed to us, we have a lot of what's called mixto tequila, meaning it's mixed. It's not 100% blue agave. I buy certified 100% blue agave. So you want to look for 100% blue agave. 100% agave is better than nothing, but it's not the best stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of, just like, think of apples. There's thousands of kinds of apples, right? Some of them taste good and some of them for eating and some of them aren't good for doing much of anything.
That's right. Just like grapes. Grapes, same thing.
Grapes are the same way. Well, agave is the same way. There's like close to 200 different kinds of agave, and not all those agaves are going to make the best tasting spirits
desirable for
or produce the best esters and aldehydes when you ferment them, or even more of bad alcohols. After fermentation and distillation, you could have more methanol or acetone, and that's true for kind of all your spirits. So when you're at the liquor store towards the bottom shelf on the floor, that's going to be your stuff that's going to have more of those kind of impurities in it, whereas you get to the higher end stuff, and especially with tequila, look for 100% blue agave, because a lot of people think tequila, you're just going to shoot it or sweeten it up with a margarita, so it doesn't matter what it tastes like. That's not true at all, and that's not how they drink tequila in Mexico. So they tend to keep the better stuff there. I mean, it makes sense. And then tequila was marketed to the United States more as it's a rite of passage. It's party on, bachelor party, turning 21. Just slam
it's got a worm in it, man. Eat the worm.
Lick the salt, make the face, eat the lime. That's
right.
Well. Does anyone know people from Mexico? I know, John, you do for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
How does your family drink tequila? They don't shoot it like that. They're going to sip it, with a beer back and
sip it like a whiskey.
Yes, maybe
right?
sip it with a wedge of lime. And I know I've been to fine dining restaurants and upper end places, and I've seen people that you can tell they're from Mexico, and that's how they drink tequila there. It's just
so they just
over
pour
years
the
of
tequila
marketing
over ice and then sip it like
some
we
of
would
them,
whiskey.
Some of them ice, some of them drink it neat, just like you do with bourbon. It just really it's your personal preference. There's really no right way to do that. But
interesting. Is that how you serve your tequila?
To a lot of people, yes. It just really depends on what they want. I brought the reposado, and that really is. I mean, actually, all three of my Blanco, reposado, and añejo, all of them are really smooth, and you could sip any of them. But the repo you can definitely sip, but it's not overly priced. It's not $60 a bottle or anything like that. It's under $40. So it's something that, hey, to mix it in a Paloma, that's what you're drinking, Sophia, is a Paloma.
That is. It's delicious.
So
great food.
it's you can mix it in a drink too, and it's not it's not being ridiculous. So.
And if you created a market segment with the blue agave products, right? You were the first one to do that?
No, there was, the first one here in Texas. There were, I don't know if they're still around, but there was a company I know of in California and in Colorado that were making agave spirits a little bit before we were. But It's still something, it's infancy. Now, there's a Sotal company now in Driftwood. So Desert Door Sotal is in Driftwood, and they make it's a similar type of plant once again. Not quite the same as the blue agave, but it's another type of plant. Yeah,
that tastes really good.
Yeah.
That's a good drink. This is awesome. This is sneaking up. This'll take you apart.
You're almost empty. You need another?
Yeah, I do.
I'm curious what your favorite drink is out of all of the selection that you have at the Buccaneer Bar. Like, what is your go-to? What do you like to drink when the doors shut and the lights get low?
Usually it's going to be a Paloma Especial. It's similar to what you're drinking, but it's going to be the blue agave reposado and grapefruit juice, splash of Fresca, and just a little dollop of agave nectar. And you shake that up really good. It gets a little frothy. It is really, really good. And sometimes for fun, maybe drizzle a little of the blue agave añejo on the top of it. Not too much, just a splash. So that.
Nice.
I like a brown derby, which is going to be grapefruit. Once again, are you seeing I like sour stuff, so brown derby.
Trend
yeah,
alert.
yeah.
Trend alert.
I don't do a lot of sweet stuff. I like more sour stuff, and I love bubbles, so I throw Fresca or Sprite Zero or Sprite.
Right, the Canada Dry in this, right?
Ginger ale is a secret.
Why ask why?
I'm giving away a
Canada Dry.
secret recipe. Oh man, throw ginger ale and lots of punches and stuff, and it just people are like, what is that? They can't figure out what it is. It gives it that roundness, that just little something extra. So.
Right. Same thing like mules. A lot of those have ginger in them, or some kind of ginger tea or carbonated
kind
drink.
of fills that hole because a lot of times you get it up front, you get something in the back, and there's nothing in the middle. So
the bubbles let everything pass. I know we used to do tequila poppers when you fill the glass with half 7-Up and half tequila when we were kids.
When you were kids.
When you were a kid.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kids. Yeah. We were all kids.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Disclaimer.
Maybe my definition of kid is,
So when you're 20-something.
Our 20s.
Okay.
Exactly. We'd take half tequila and half like Sprite or 7-Up, and you put it in a shot glass and you'd slam it. And And then you'd throw it, and the bubbles would just take it, and you'd just be like, yeah, I didn't feel anything.
Well, then it's lemon lime too, and that's what goes with tequila and agave spirits. Lemon lime,
you do about
go great with them.
About 5 or 6 of those, and you're like, man, I don't feel a ding.
We put Crystal Light into a glass of vodka, but that's another story.
I see there's vodka over there.
Actually,
There's vodka
that's
over
actually
there.
what's pretty cool is you started out with rum, but now it seems like you've got something in every segment, or pretty much. I mean, you've got a. I mean,
there's a great reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to run through the whole portfolio? I mean, is that
yeah? Yeah, I can do that. Sure. So we started with rum because that's basically what my husband and I like more than anything is pretty much rum, and that's because we're sailors. The whole talking and dressing like pirate thing, we've been doing that for quite a while. We had a sailboat for a long time. And it makes sense to make rum here in Texas or Louisiana, around these parts, because the sugarcane, your raw material for molasses and sugarcane juice, it's regional. So it makes sense to make rum here, and there wasn't a rum distillery, so we thought that'd be a great idea. So we started with a handful of rums, and then we went into the agave spirits, because at the time there were a handful of agave spirits kind of being imported, and they were calling them Texas tequilas, and you can't do that because, once again, tequila's a region. And I remember making presentations at bars or restaurants or liquor stores and looking at their products and saying, hey, other than Tito's, you don't have any other Texas products on the market. And they'd pull this bottle of tequila. It had the word tequila right on it. Oh yeah, this is from Texas. And I'm like, no, if you look at the back of the label, it actually says, made in Mexico. It's really a.
So basically the
so
label
like,
was stamped in Texas.
And it was one of those things. I'm like, really, you want a Texas tequila? Fine, we're going to look into that. And so Matt and I started looking into that and found there were really only a couple at the time. And there was, like I said, there was one in California that I know of and another in Colorado. And we thought, what a great idea, because a margarita in Texas, it's huge.
Staple.
I mean, people drink a lot of tequila here, and it's refreshing, especially mixed in margaritas and with lime and grapefruit, all those kinds of cocktails. So we thought, well, what the heck, it's how would we get some agave to play with it? And found out it wasn't that difficult and something fun to do. So the blue agave products, the Blanco, was what we launched next, and then the Reposado. And then a little thing called our liquor laws changed for us in 2013.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And when that happened, it means we could now have a tasting room, and we could sample and sell cocktails and sell a limited amount of bottles and cocktails. So
okay, so you kind of jumped ahead, but
we're going to come back. We're going to come back to that. We'll come back to that.
The reason we introduced vodka and whiskey is, I now have a bar. How many cocktails can I make with a couple of rums and an agave spirit or two, right? Or you come into my place, you come into my tasting room, and, I only drink whiskey. We get that a lot from a lot of guys, a lot of ladies. I only drink vodka. A lot of sometimes guys. So it's one of those things that when we saw that, okay, we're now going to have a facility where we can have a visitor center, a tasting room. Have you been to a winery lately and noticed at the winery they might have 30 different wines, everything from White Zen to the biggest Cabernet to anything in between, because they want to try and have a little bit of something for everybody. So it really just made sense. So it's not like we set out to make vodka or whiskey or any of these things. It was really somewhat of a necessity. And now I had a venue at which to showcase it. Having to use your distributor in the 3-tiered, 4-tiered system in some cases doesn't make sense for me to make all these products because your distributor won't even bring them all in. You know, Specs doesn't carry all my products. Total Wine & More doesn't. It's not their fault. They can't. There's so many products out there. So now that we have a tasting room, we have a venue to play with and do some other things and make some other products. So the minute that law changed, we're like, we need to start making vodka and whiskey so that we've got that at the bar for the person. I only drink vodka cranberry. And that's why we pretty much immediately launched the vodka. And then a couple years later, came out with our light whiskey. And then we've got an aged whiskey too.
And I've noticed it's also kind of turned into a bottle shop. I mean, people...
Yeah.
I mean, people buy
you can purchase 2 bottles per person every 30 days from my facility.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. During the same times that you can come to a liquor store. So people, why do you close early and why aren't you open at Sunday? Well, because we have kind of goofy rules about all that. So,
right.
Mm-hmm.
But the rules that are current actually are a major improvement over the way they were before the laws changed.
Oh my gosh!
I remember you going to Austin, and you really were kind of the tip of the spear fighting for some of the laws.
Oh, it was a handful of us. Paula of Paula's Limoncello and Orangecella, and Garrison Brothers and Treaty Oak, and there's so many people named Rebecca Creek, Texas Spirit. There's a whole bunch of us. I'd say about 10, 15 people got together and started an association, and then we kind of went and had Tito got on board too, and pretty much all the big players got on board and trying to get that pushed through. And yeah, I've been to Austin quite a bit. The whole, how a bill becomes a law. Yeah, I know how that works now. It's a lot of fun. Did any of you guys go to those meetings up in Austin where they had all of you in one room? And it was great because here you are, the distillers, and we're all on these couple of tables, and then right next to you, you have all the liquor store chain people, and then you had it was pretty
distributors.
It was pretty rough, yeah. And you're all in there together, and we're going through all this, and it's ugly. And
they want to make more
sounds
money.
like drama.
And they want to make more money.
It was quite heated at times, and then at the end of it, the session would be over, and everyone's like, "Hey, and you're, I hope they still have my product on the shelf." And then and same too. Y'all got to go make nice, and we are all nice. It's just the way the system is set up. It's not that anyone's
pitting
evil
y'all against each other, basically. Right?
It really kind of is, and I don't blame them. They're all looking out for their own assets, and I mean you gotta watch it. So laws can change. Like look what happened to beer with that being dialed back a little bit too, with the rule of how much you can sell yourself before you have to use a distributor once again. So
with every law changes more limitations. I mean that's how they do it.
So,
they
stack those limitations on you.
Even when it seemed the law got better for breweries, they kind of squeezed in a new permit you had to buy. The distributors made us buy. So it's you definitely learn that, especially in Texas. Political.
They're not going to lose out on their tax money.
That definitely plays a role.
Yeah, if they can squeeze tax money out of you, they're going to do it.
Well, and what one of us wants to change, another group would prefer the status quo because it behooves them, and I don't blame them for that. I mean, I'm going to be the same way, watching out for what we've got going on. So,
well, but I remember that when we one of the first times that I visited your facility, you couldn't even do a tasting on site.
No, we couldn't. We couldn't taste until 2010. So, and that was mostly Dan Garrison.
When did y'all open? 2006?
2007 we opened.
2007.
We started the company and all that fun stuff, DBA, and started working on everything.
2 years before it opened, right?
Yeah, well, back then there weren't even permits and forms to fill out to open a distillery. We were kind of going rounds because they're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, there's this thing called Tito's out there, and clearly you can do it. And
when we went to our local office, she's like, we've never done one of these. We don't know how to do it, so I got to call my guy and come back next week.
Yeah, we had kind of the same issue that there's winery permits and there's brewery permits, but I don't think you can do that here. I'm like, well, actually, we know you can because there is one. There is one.
So you
it was
went
a long time ago.
Carol, right? Carol did
we started with Carol and then had to go up to
I think
you had
Dallas.
To go up
the chain a little bit.
I think the Dallas office or something. But now they've streamlined a lot more now, and you can do it on everything online now and updating your permits and renewing, and it's a lot better than it used to be. So,
sure. I know for beer they were fairly lax. She handled the whole thing, and she was a
We
She
were
was
her
a
first
sweetheart about the whole thing.
We were
you know,
her
she
first
really
brewery,
was.
I believe.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
But a TABC officer, they'll smile and call you sweetheart while they put you in cuffs and walk you to the car. Yeah, they really will. They'll be like, "Oh, sweetheart, it's such a pity I got to do this, but if we could just walk on over there and just get in the back of the car, we'll be all right." Yes, ma'am.
Well, fortunately, I have not had that experience, and
Right.
I don't plan it. I don't plan on it.
Nor have we, but they will.
Anyone who knows me.
They are that. I always saw them as that cold. That way, it like kept me, from. I know a couple of breweries have challenged their acceptance onto property before, and some things have happened.
Oh, wow.
I don't ever plan on. I don't do that, and I think we've already had this discussion where. You were when you were in distribution for a while.
Yeah. I started off actually in wine in 1996. So pretty much out of college, I started working in wine sales. Yeah, so I worked it was Sheps at the time, and then it became over the years. It's Republic National Distributing Company. RNDC is who it is now, and that's actually who sells my product for me. So here in Texas, you can't self-distribute spirits. So Republic.
You're going through them.
So yeah, and I worked for them for about 11 years. So I'm a wine sommelier too. I'm a level 1 wine sommelier. And,
nice.
Oh yeah.
And I sold a lot of beer, you guys, and I sold beer back when St. Arnold's was pretty much new, and it was hard to sell it. People like, we don't want the people just it was crazy.
Well,
and we
Kelly,
had all these craft beers, and it was hard to sell it at the time. And then shoot, it seemed just like in a year or two, it's like bam, the craze really started, and
they were the tip
it was
of the
flying
spear.
off the shelf.
They were the tip.
Well,
of the
let's
spear.
take a look at the past, but first we got to go to a break.
They're all we could afford. The Galactic Coast Power Hour. Live from the ACU of Texas studios, the Galactic Coast Power Hour with John Innes and Mighty Mike Taylor.
That's right. We're back with the Galactic Coast Power Hour. We're here with Kelly Railean from the Railean Distillery,
drinking some magnificent drinks,
and Buccaneer Bar, and we're having craft cocktails, Railean craft cocktails, and this is the Paloma.
You're drinking the Paloma now.
Paloma.
Yes.
Excellent. That was tasty. So we're talking about kind of the
we were talking about the past and things that drove you into where you are today. I believe is where we were.
I think that's what we're talking about.
I think that's what we're talking about. So your early years selling wine, right? You learned a lot, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
dealing with especially
11 years.
I think it was dealing with the TABC that we were kind of talking
Yeah,
about.
because even as a sales rep working for a distributing company, there's a lot of rules, and you could get fined, you could get
and they were
you could get days
constantly
off without pay, you could get fired, you could get you had a.
They're constantly touring the warehouse too, correct?
Well, I didn't have much to do with the warehouse. I mean, I'm sure they are. You have to inventory everything and taxes and all that fun stuff. I imagine for someone like Republic, that's got to be one heck of a job, considering all the brands. I know what a job it is for us. So for them, no, but for us, it was more knowing. I had to know more the marketing rules. There's things you can do, giveaways and this and that, and staying at a place for how long, and buying drinks, and can you touch the bottles, and can you this when you're doing a wine dinner, and so that's more of what I had to deal with as far as being out in the general public and being in accounts. There was a lot of rules.
So even
being at a liquor
changed,
store,
right?
moving bottles around. You can't move someone else's bottles around at the liquor store. There's all these rules.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the marketing. So I really knew more of the marketing end of stuff. When it came to actually starting up a distillery and all that stuff, I mean, we were clueless. I could write a book on what not to do, I'm sure, but it's a learning curve. But at least I knew on the marketing side, kind of what had to be done and what
how
was
to push,
what was legal, what to look for, and
I bought that book.
Yeah.
What not to do?
What not to do?
What not to do.
I could write a lot of
Right.
what not
We're
to do
gonna
books.
we'll talk later. Yeah. No.
Yeah, how not to bareboat charter the first time, how not to. There's a lot of what to not to. Yeah, I could do a lot of that.
That's actually a good angle for a book.
Yes. How not to start a distillery. Yeah, it'd save a lot of people a lot of time, I'm sure.
Right?
But if you hadn't started, there'd be so many unhappy people right now in Galveston County and the greater area. Because
Goodness gracious!
I mean,
yeah.
it's
You've
amazing.
created quite a dependency. I think so. We need our rum.
Well, I like the fact that you're kind of on a couple different angles. I mean, obviously you have the distribution, the bottles to go, the on-site live music. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the Buccaneer Bar. I mean, you literally, obviously, you fought for the laws to even get anywhere near to the point where you could actually.
Yeah, when we started this, we had never envisioned that we would have this aspect of it where we have a tasting room and a bar, and it's people they have a hard time understanding. Oh, is it a real bar? Well, it's basically like y'all's tap rooms at a brewery or a winery. You go to those places and they only have the products that they actually make there. That's all they.
Which you make on site.
Which we make, and we make 13 different products.
Yeah.
So 7 rums, 3 blue agave spirits, 2 whiskeys, and a vodka. So there's a little bit of something for everybody.
I would argue it's even cooler though. I mean,
That's
200
very impressive.
plus.
Yeah. Definitely. Best tour too, as well.
Right.
I mean, super.
Truth.
I mean, you walk through the entire process. You get to taste all of. That's what really impressed me the most the first time I went. You get to try everything. So whiskey, the reposados.
You get to see the still running. We typically, very rarely, only if we've had an issue, which is pretty much never. The still is running when we're doing a tour. And we, and not to pick on other places or how other folks do things, but it's not just a tour guide doing this tour and reading cards or just regurgitating. You're actually getting the tour from a distiller.
The master.
So it's either going to be
Kelly.
It's going to be myself or it's going to be Kenny Bradshaw. He's a master distiller. He's been with me 3 years now. It'll be Kenny doing a tour. James occasionally does tours too, and James is also a distiller. So it's you're going to get someone who actually runs the equipment and cleans everything and makes the product and bottles it and barrels it. So when you want to ask things about, well, how do you work this or how does this work or what the heck is that, at least we can answer you, as opposed to a lot of these other things I've been to, wineries and breweries and distilleries. Sometimes it's just, it's someone that, hey, they have an appreciation, but they might not really understand the chemistry behind anything and the mechanics. So with our place, it's a little different. So
Definitely have street cred.
Yeah,
Whoever's giving the tour. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And the Buccaneer Bar is coming up on an anniversary, correct?
Yeah, we opened the bar. It'll be 4 years. So the bar, it was kind of bare bones. It wasn't really open, but we really opened the bar 4 years ago. So yeah, in August, the first Saturday in August, we're having a big pirate party. How fitting, huh?
Yay! I love it.
If you got to get your pirate on, this is the place and the time to do it. Yeah.
And that's Saturday, August 4th.
Saturday, August 4th.
Nice little shanty.
Mark your calendars.
There's going to be plenty of booty
Mark
there.
your calendars,
Lots
if
of
you
booty
will.
there.
Yeah, it'll be
See,
good. It'll be good.
Background of marketing.
Take your cutlass and mark it.
Well, watch it. We have to, you might have to check your cutlass at the door.
Check your cutlass at the door.
A plastic cutlass is fine, but we have
Eye
had some folks
patches
show up with
are,
some crate. I'm like, okay, we can't have that in here.
Yeah.
leave the
is
musket
that
in
Damascus
the leave the musket in the actual real cutlass in the car, please. This is a
There'll
bar.
be no fights in here.
No.
Arr.
No. They can battle it out for the pirate talking because we'll have a contest of who the best pirate talker is, so that's how they can fight it out.
That's right.
I want to hear some of your.
Yeah.
I need to hear some of Kelly's best pirate.
I think that's an annual event, right? Do you talk like a
Well,
pirate?
that's
another
another
different deal. But
that's another party.
Yeah,
we often talk like pirates at our place. We don't do it just once a year, which is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is September 19th, which is pretty much my favorite holiday, if you can use the word holiday, but we do.
It works, especially
Our holiday's fine for me.
But we have probably 5-6 pirate parties a year, or something like that. So, yeah.
Excellent.
And that's including the pirate club. What's the name of the pirate? Not the club, but
the we call it the guild. It's really It's really not a club. It's not exclusive or anything like that. It's really all it is you get a pirate mug. So for $20, you get a stainless steel insulated
that one
pirate
right there?
mug. Yes, it's this right here. You get one of these, and you're going to take it home with you.
Looks like a barrel with a handle.
It really pretty much does. That's the whole
That's
idea.
awesome.
It keeps your hot beverages hot.
Yeah.
So use your morning coffee, right?
And your
use it
cold
for your coffee.
beverages
And your cold
cold.
beverages
Arr.
cold. So you take your mug home, and when you come into our place,
cool.
you bring your mug with you. So you get to drink out of your mug. And it's just kind of cool. And when you walk into our place, especially on weekdays, you'll see pretty much everyone in there has one of these. Absolutely. So, and the cool thing about it is
you're not to the club, matey.
It's a couple more ounces than your regular 12-ounce cocktail, and it's just cool. And so
Do you make drinks for those? Do you make drinks in those for people? Is that where you make the?
Well, yeah. If you
shake them and then pour them in the.
Oh yeah. So if you bring in your mug, you'll drink out of your own mug. People bling them out. You should see what folks do, y'all. They take them. They bling them. Yes, they put all sorts of crazy stuff on them.
Crunk cup.
They get cord and parachute cord and rope and whatever, and they oh my gosh, they wrap them in colors. They do bedazzle them. There are ones that are rhinestoned out. I mean, it's crazy. So people then they bring in their own mug.
Rhinestone does start with R.
How many members are in the guild currently?
We have sold 2,300 mugs.
Nice. Woo.
That's a big old pirate party right there.
Yes.
But you have plenty more.
That's a fair share.
Yeah, there's no. Once again, there's no limit on this.
No
it's
ceiling.
just you're buying a mug, and then if you want to be on the email list, there's a special email list, so you get advance notice when we've got new products coming out. We kind of let the folks that have bought a mug know about the.
I think the rum's kicking in.
Is it?
He's not going to stop, is he?
You need to practice and come on Saturday the 4th.
Saturday the 4th?
Yeah.
Saturday the 4th.
You could be a ringer.
No,
yeah.
What's that?
That's our anniversary
The big
party.
pirate party.
Oh.
Have you been listening?
Arr, I've been drinking.
We're having a Talk Like a Pirate contest that night.
I thought he said September 19th. That's what I was.
No, that was-
Well, we'll have
That's
another
right.
one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have another one.
That's
Then we
the
don't
main
just,
one,
We
right?
don't
That's
limit
the-
ourselves
We're
to
glad
once
you're
a
at least
year.
picking up parts of the
Parts
competition.
are parts. I'm picking up parts.
Nice.
That's pretty fun.
Does anyone have any good pirate jokes? Kelly's got. I'm sure you have tons.
I really
of pirate
don't.
jokes.
We have bad ones. They're really not good. They're really not.
Pirates don't tell jokes. They cut you in half. Arr. Enough about the realistic version of pirates.
I can't even, y'all.
This is a really good drink.
Oh, I thank you.
This is a really good drink.
Thank you.
I could just settle into this. This could session me all the way through the night.
Excellent.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Am I going to need to drive you home?
No, I'm good.
You're good? You're staying the night?
We do have
I'm staying behind.
Uber on standby too. I mean, we've
Standby.
we've learned this isn't our first.
Right.
We
I was
haven't.
about to say you call Uber.
There is a Uber.
We haven't done 1,600 episodes, but we've done 16. So we've
16.
learned. Yeah.
Learned.
You know your limit.
No, but this is a very good drink.
No,
thank you.
It's very
Man,
sneaky. You can't really detect the rum.
There's a decent amount of rum there, probably an ounce and a half to 2 ounces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike's
But the
proof of
fruit,
that.
the fruit
Makes it healthy. Yes.
makes it healthy,
I know.
and it hides the alcohol.
Well, I don't. You can
thinking
taste
it
it.
does.
You taste the spice. I can totally taste the spice in it from the spice drum because the spice drum is one of the rums in there. So I get the
Very good.
the spices, ginger, cardamom.
I'm curious about the names that you have on some of your bottles there.
Sure.
So you got sugarcane, El
El Perico. That means the parakeet. So that's kind of, a nod to the fact that it's blue agave spirits, which is made in Mexico, tequila, which is made in Mexico. So, and it's for the parakeet. If you notice the parakeet on all of our bottles, that is, I'm sure you guys have seen them around Clear Lake,
absolutely.
all around the lake, and Bay Cliff, San Leon. That's for the monk parakeet. So when we were building our place, we did a lot of it out of the old Buccaneer, which was a bait shop and ice house located a couple blocks from where we put our facility. And when you're on the second floor of the Buccaneer, there are all these big palm trees, and you were looking right into the tops of them, and there's huge nests of them, and so the birds are flying back and forth, and that's kind of how we got the idea. We're naming our product, we're getting ready to open our facility, and they'd let us hang out upstairs during the week when no one was there and meet with contractors and work, and little things like use the bathroom since we didn't have a building yet, and just little
Man, it's the little
things like that.
It's
Little things like that.
things.
They'd let us hang out there, and that's how we kind of had the idea, was watching these birds fly back and forth, and they're just dragging stuff up, to build their nests, and we're like, hey, that's a great idea to use on our label, because we didn't want to be in your face pirate. Trying to come up with a name is tough, and then Railean is just our last name. So if you think of a lot of products, one word, and it's something people haven't heard of before, and so we thought it would be unique. And then using the parakeet, because people come to there's clubs and things, bird clubs and stuff that actually come down to bird watch, and that's kind of how we found out about all that. And so using the little parrot on our bottle.
Now, pretty much this whole area is kind of like a bird sanctuary. I mean, it's amazing.
Pelicans, and we've got all sorts of stuff. I know
all the birds we get flying through here. And of course, what do they say about San Leon? It's a drinking community with a fishing problem.
It's a small drinking community with a large fishing problem. Yes, yes, that sums it up pretty well. If you've been bar hopping in San Leon, you know what I'm talking about. There's quite a few of them in a concentrated area.
And the other thing that's kind of unique about your experience, I mean, literally you started from the ground up. I mean, you bought the real estate, you built the distillery, then you built the bar. I mean, what was that process like?
Well, fortunately, my husband is, his line of work, being a chemical engineer and all the line of work he does and everything, he's had to build really big things like at chemical plants and things of that nature.
Sure.
So,
Seen
with
those
him,
projects through.
yeah. So with
Seemed
him,
like a small project to him, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So with him, actually,
you're still seeing it as Goliath, but he's like, it's just a little.
To me, I'm like, wow, that's a crane. He's like, that ain't a crane. That's that's nothing. You should see the cranes I have to get.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so yeah, and having him get the general contractor and kind of his vision with that, and then just moving forward from there. So, but yeah, I would have never thought. And then building the second building when we, the law changed and we ran out of room, and who would have thought? So, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now you're booking bands. It's just it's evolved into a whole new thing, right? I mean,
it has, and thankfully, because I don't know if we'd still be here if it weren't for all that. Because to use our facility, it's the best marketing tool we have. Because you can go to a liquor store and sample products, right, when they're pouring products, and you get to try things, and that's great. But to come and to meet the people that actually make the product, to see a facility, I don't know about y'all, but when I go to a brewery or when I go to a winery, which I do a lot of that, or distillery, and I see and meet people, if I like that person, or I see what I like at the facility, or wow, it's clean, or people are friendly, or look at all the work that went into this, I'm more apt to buy your product. I mean, and
absolutely.
And this
it's
goes
about
back
an
20
experience.
20 years to when I was in the wine business, going to certain wineries that I'm like, oh man, they were so great, and I got to meet the family, I got to meet the owner, I got to meet the winemaker, and I petted the dog, and whatever it is, and all these things, and they have good product, so it really just sells it. So for us to have our facility where you can come in and you can learn about how it's made, you can try the product, and then, hey, you like it? Well, guess what? You can go to the liquor store. You can go to your local liquor store. You can go to Specs or Total or lots of different places, Goody, and lots of local stores, and you can purchase a lot of our products right there, right? Rather than having to drive across town or from wherever you are coming to purchase from us, you can go get it from the store too. And with bars and restaurants, the more people ask for it, the more bars and restaurants and hotels are starting to pour our products. So with building the facility, and we call them rumbassadors. So, you come to our place and people always say, well, what can we do to help you? Next time you're at a restaurant, ask for Railean rum. Next time you're at a liquor store and you don't see it,
drink local.
Ask for it. And it's funny because I get bars, restaurants, liquor stores calling me, man, people keep asking for this. What the heck is this? What is going on? How do I get it? And hey, call Republic Beverage. If you can get Kendall Jackson and Sutter Home, you can get my product. So it's just that easy. But it's just people don't know, and there's so many products out there. You all know too. I mean, look at beer. It's the same way when I go to HEB or when I go. There's so much of it, and it's hard, and and. You buy the flashy label? Do you buy the most expensive, the least expensive? The best way for me is I go to these places and I try
buyer?
It. Yes.
Are you a new buyer?
Yes.
Are you a middle buyer? I mean, the demographic range is so. The demographic range itself is strong when you're trying to entice.
And some people only buy the same thing. There are people that's and then there's nothing wrong with that. So it's just one of those things. So.
But you almost kind of lost me when you said dog, like a Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Dog?
Yeah, you had like a Brooklyn accent when you said
Must
dog.
be the rum.
You were like dog.
I'm originally from the Midwest.
Is that your dog? Is that your dog?
I did not say it like there's no way.
Dog. Is that your dog?
We will.
It was pretty close. I was like, is she from Brooklyn?
No.
It's my dog. I have to take her for a walk.
Yeah.
My dog. All the way to Boston.
Okay, you're done. We're cutting.
You just got cut off by a master distiller.
I don't think so.
He's like that all the time, though. You can't cut him off.
It's hard to judge me. I'm intense all the time.
Kind of like a comic book character. Yeah.
But I'm real life. I am.
That's true. You're
oh yeah.
Can I have another one of these?
Sure. Pass it down.
I would like a second cup as well.
Yes.
What do you want? You want another plum or you want a rum
Sylvia
punch?
never has a second cup at home.
Bartender's choice. Anything you want to pour.
All right. So Kelly's gonna prepare some craft cocktails for us, and we're gonna be right back after we pay some bills.
The Galactic Guys. Watch us on Facebook.
Welcome back with Kelly Railean to the Galactic Coast Power Hour with John Ennis, Sylvia Benvenides, Mike Taylor, and Kelly Railean. Kelly.
Yeah.
What am I drinking? Is this the same thing again? Am I going to R it
We're
out?
going to do this again? All right. It's the Talk Like a Pirate rum punch.
And I believe I'm having that
It's
too,
working.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, John, you have the rum punch too. You are now having, Sylvia, you have the tiger shark.
Mm-hmm. I like the tiger shark better than the last one, but
It's got a little more acidity, a little more sour. Yeah.
Hey, that's my drink.
All right,
that's more my kind of style too.
So I guess the Buccaneer bar kind of has a pirate theme, and you've got pirate
Kind of.
events. Yeah, kind of.
Like every inch of the walls is pretty much covered in pirate. Yes.
Yeah, and literally every inch. I mean, I've seen it evolve from blue walls to.
I like how you're not like punching it in the face. You're not like.
Well, if you were
taking
there,
it to the extreme or
if you were
anything.
there 4 years ago, there was like 4 or 5 things on the walls.
It's definitely
Two tables, a handful of folding
there's
chairs.
even,
Yeah,
like,
I think that's actually when we came, right in the beginnings.
Yeah.
Of the room.
Well, that was before she even built that one.
No, me and Carrie went when she built the.
when we first were building the new building,
bar.
yeah. And then the back half of that building is storage and raw material, a lot of barrels, and then the bottling line is in the back of that building too. And it's so funny because even 2 years ago, wow, this is still really big. It's never full, and now we have no room.
That's awesome.
I should have built a bigger building. Yeah. So, yep. Once again, that How Not To book coming right up. Yep.
All right, so we're gonna play off that theme, the pirate theme, and you're gonna be the first ever participant in the Galactic Coast Challenge, audio, visual, walk the plank. And so
walk the plank.
Oh, no.
So we're gonna
walk
quiz
the plank.
you.
I knew nothing of this.
Right. We like to challenge, based on themes. We had the guys from Swing Door in. They got kind of a Western theme.
Okay.
Everybody gets a challenge.
Maybe they shouldn't keep that Western theme. Okay, so I'm going to play an audio clip. I'm going to show you a visual. Actually, some of these probably, a lot of these, the audio clip's pretty difficult. So we're going to do a combination of the two. Since this is radio, we've adapted.
Should I be nervous?
Yes,
slightly.
Very
I
nervous.
think if we just did the audio, probably, but I think the visual. So you got your headphones on.
I'm ready.
It is my intention to commandeer one of these ships, pick up a crew and torch them, raid, pillage, plunder, and otherwise pilfer my Weasley black guts out.
Well, that one's easy.
Right.
Who is it?
That's Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp,
yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain
Jack Sparrow.
You can there you go. You can name the character, the vehicle,
Movie,
the
real
TV
actor.
show, the real actor.
The visual gives it away.
That's kind of right.
Kinda.
So actually, well, God.
Oh, come on, challenge me.
We're gonna take it away.
All right, I'm skipping the visual on this
audio
one.
only.
We got a problem. We pushed the ship too hard. We're off the grid. That means the computer's now offline. The ship's broken.
Think Walk the Plank, Pirates, although this is maybe a little bit more modern Pirates.
That sounds like Nicolas Cage. Oh no, it's Tom Hanks.
See, y'all don't even know what Tom Hanks sounds like.
I just.
That was Tom Hanks with an accent, I believe. He was.
Mike does a pretty good Tom Hanks.
Yeah, so that was okay. The first one, Pirates of the Caribbean. That was Captain Phillips.
That one's easy.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on.
Oh my Lord!
A wonderful life, they never bury your bones. For when it's all over, a jolly sea roller drops in on his friend Davy Jones.
I know this one.
That is a cartoon. I have no children.
You're close. Well,
I don't know what it is.
Well,
I even know what it is.
I know what it is too.
Well, okay, it's A Pirate's Life, Peter Pan, 1953.
Yep. Captain Hook, right?
Oh.
No, it's Peter Pan.
Well, Peter Pan, but
it's Captain Hook.
I think Captain
Yeah.
Hook.
Oh, it's Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
Whatever. We only have to name one. It's Peter Pan. It's Peter Pan.
All right.
You're Peter Pan.
Named after me.
Oh, that's Captain Crunch. Yes. Captain Crunch.
Wait a minute. Is that a pirate? Is he a pirate?
He's a captain.
Yeah,
he's a
he's a
captain.
pirate.
He's an admiral.
He's an admiral.
Did you see the
Well,
hat?
I guess he's a captain.
I'm going to sail to Skull Island on your ship.
Oh, Jesus.
But my ship will follow, ready to attack if I don't return safely.
I have no idea.
All right, go by the visual.
Looks like
Is that the Three Stooges?
Because Abbott and Costello.
Oh, Abbott and Costello.
We were on the same.
I know. Well, there's three of them, and.
Don't try to stop me, Smee. Oh, not again.
Hold on.
You're still giving the video away.
Wait! You'll not take her while I live. Then I'll take her when you're dead. Oh, the shaker with that. It has been honorably seconded. There's not
Blackbeard?
That's kind of difficult. That's Captain Blood from 1935.
I was thinking Blackbeard,
which,
maybe. 1935. Oh,
Errol Flynn.
Oh,
Errol Flynn.
okay.
Yeah. That was digging deep. We have a crack research crew of 1,500.
They're not doing crack. They're just, good.
Formally introduced. Killian Jones. What are you doing aboard my
cute.
ship? You have my wife.
Well, I've had many a man's
No
wife.
idea.
I've had,
That's a great line, though.
I've
I gotta see that one now.
I've had many a man's wife.
That one was suggested by the wife. That's Captain Hook from Once Upon a Time.
He's cute.
Yeah, that was
had many a man's
kind of
wife.
cool. Okay, this one gets a little easier. I'm hoping. Hold on. All right.
I'm really not doing well. I'm glad there's a, yeah. Oh, it's the Muppets pirate. Kermit.
Yep, the Muppets.
Oh,
That's
that's
Muppet
cute.
Treasure Island, 1986.
86.
Right.
You're old.
I'm young.
You're old.
Froggy. Be reasonable. Come on down, you little baboon. You want
You
to
little
eat me?
baboon.
The law of nature by thunder. The strong always eat the weak.
Oh, that's the Mutiny. Mutiny on the Bounty.
Well,
Is it Mutiny on the Bounty?
No, actually,
No?
that's Walter Matthau in Roman Polanski's Pirates, 1986. So
Ah.
that movie cost about $30 million to make, and it took in less than $1 million in ticket sales.
Ouch.
What?
So it was not. That
So it
successful.
was.
They weren't ready for
it
pirates
was,
then.
It was Waterworld.
Best movie ever.
Failure.
Still a good movie.
And I've got one bonus one that we're going to try real quick here. We're changing computers. We're doing this on the fly.
We got to
All right,
change
so-
computers for this one, alas.
I just thought this was so funny.
Don't try to stop me this time, Smee. Don't you dare try to stop me this time, Smee. Try to stop me.
That's Captain Hook, isn't it?
Arr.
Yeah, that is Captain Hook. That's
Peter Pan.
I'm coming. This is not a joke. I'm committing suicide.
all right,
Damn
that's,
it.
Oh.
There was some gunplay.
All right, that was Hook, and that's a pretty funny scene. He was trying to, well, he's pretending to commit suicide. One is for his.
Seems like a lot of Captain Hook in this special.
You picked up on the theme. All right, so
The hook makes the R.
overall, I think you did pretty well, though.
Yeah.
I think you did pretty good.
I don't know.
You did better than guys from Saloon Door.
Oh, well, that's good.
They'll never
Yeah.
live that down. We're
Oh,
gonna bring
no.
that up every episode.
I'm not trying to talk down on anybody, but, they did fairly.
Well,
now
I
if
mean,
it would have been factual, say,
Arr.
Blackbeard.
Pusser's
Gene
rum
Lafitte or
and some
something,
of these
yeah.
things. Yes, I must say I don't necessarily watch a lot of movies.
Too busy working.
Right.
She got to keep
Respect.
it. Yep, exactly.
Actually, I'll be honest. I don't think I'd seen any of these movies except for I hadn't even seen any of the Johnny Depp movies.
Well, I've seen all those. I mean, are you crazy?
I saw-
I've seen all those. I see
I
those
saw Captain
multiple
Exactly.
times. Those are on when I'm cleaning the house. I mean, just
right.
Arr, what house are you cleaning?
doing paperwork or whatever. I got those on. Yeah. If you would have Captain Ron, there's one you missed. Captain
Captain
Ron.
Ron.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
man.
See, yes. The pirates, the gorillas, go. Yeah.
So
All
we
right.
think,
So next we're gonna play the Galactic Coast Challenge. Do we have time? I think we have time.
Think we have time?
We have time.
Are we going to augment the camera, or what are we going to do? We're just going to set it up.
Let's just set it up. Let's go. Okay. Cool. That's right. We're back with the Galactic Coast Power Hour. We're about to do the Galactic Coast Challenge, which 9 out of 10 members of Sylvia's family says is the most exciting 2 minutes in radio. So we got Kelly Railean.
Kelly, choose your style.
Pints and paddles, beer pong bounce, from mouth to cup, behind the back, hacky sack style, and free throw. We don't explain what those mean until you pick one.
Great. Let's do behind the back.
Behind the back? Ooh, okay, interesting. I think that's
it's a tough one. I've done that one before. So.
All right, but hey, respect the.
Yes.
All right,
come on this side.
So Mighty Mike Taylor's gonna. And Adam Smash has gone live, mobile with the camera.
So behind the back, you can go here if you want. Right here. All right, see. Behind the back.
Oh, this isn't gonna be good.
All right.
We're just glad you didn't do mouth to cup because for some reason people keep selecting that and I don't know why.
Okay.
It's because the name is so good.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of rules.
Yeah.
So
It's got to be behind the back.
Behind the back.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 practice throws and then we start the 4th.
Oh, at least I hit the table.
But that one didn't count. That one didn't count.
Now you get 4 tries.
Okay, 4 tries.
Give her 4 balls, please. There's one more right there behind you. There's one more right there.
Don't step on them.
There are 3 guys in the room. At least one had to make that comment.
I did.
All right.
Okay, when do I go?
All right, Kelly's got the
You
balls.
can go anytime, Kelly.
Kelly's got the balls in her hands.
Oh.
Oh, I almost cut your cup, John.
That was.
Oh.
I'm overcorrecting.
Right.
Over.
Oh. Let's in a moss.
Okay,
Who's up?
for being Galveston County's first distillery.
I think it's Galveston, Harris County. I think it's the whole region. Yeah, 3 more tries. All right.
Because this is you picked a hell of a.
It is a challenging feat.
Well, it's a tough.
Really
Well,
good.
again, because I don't know what they are.
If you would do me the honors of. Yeah, I think if you step forward a little bit, you'll be able to aim a little better. Yeah.
Oh!
Okay, that's one. Okay, 2 more tries.
We could be here all night if you're waiting for me to get one.
Sylvia, pass the balls.
Oh.
Super close.
All right, so.
Hey, I'm represented.
Hey,
all right, so reminder
I hit a couple of
the
cups.
Railean Distillery Buccaneer Bar anniversary celebration, August 4th. I think there's a beer event coming up this weekend and at the House of Blues, right? And then
there is, yes, sir, absolutely.
So a lot of fun events coming up.
Bands and breweries from all over.
And of course, we've got the I think literally the largest beer festival in Texas coming up over Labor Day weekend, August 31st through September 2nd. The Brewmasters Craft Beer Festival at Moody Gardens.
That's gonna be fun.
Get out and enjoy some local beverages. Hey Kelly, thanks for coming.
No, thank you for having
Kelly.
me. Appreciate it, guys.
Lots of fun.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
talking
much.
liquor with us.
Sorry I couldn't get any of the balls in the cups. I did my best.
I only
did my best.
That's okay.
The behind the back, I didn't practice. Had I known.
I only have one thing to say.
Yeah.
Arr.
Rum punch. He's talking like a pirate now. Excellent.
Arr. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Space travel. Beer. Does this look infected? Beer. Boating. Did we mention there's beer? Hey, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, we think. Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Galactic Coast Power Hour. Vinyl Draft Radio. I gotta pee.